Hey YouTube, this is Copy7789 here, coming at you guys, of course, with my third deck on the deck analysis series. Um, I decided that I'm just going to use Dueling Network from now on, just so I can, so you guys have something to look at other than me talking the entire time. So yeah. Um, I know I said I was gonna do one on Friday. I just got a little busy, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, so yeah. But continuing on with the deck analysis series, I know I started with windups, I believe. Yeah, I started with windups, and then I did Chaos Dragons, and now I figure I get to the other one of the current big three, I guess is the best way to put it, and that would be Rescue Rabbit. Not necessarily Rescue Rabbit. It would be Dino Rabbit. Um, so yeah. Um, Obviously, Dino Rabbit has been doing extremely well over the past, I'd like to say, year. It was relevant in the plant format. Obviously, plants were the dominant deck in that format. Um, However, Rescue Rabbit was still a good deck because it competed extremely well with with plants. But enough of that. Obviously, plants have been gone for almost 6 months now. Not gone, but not played at all. Obviously, with the Spore and Glow Up gone and the Tengu down to 2, the deck was basically unplayable. Um, so now you get to a deck that I feel has just been completely dominant. Not completely dominant, but it's been one of the top decks for the last 6 months, easy. Um, it's definitely one of the decks that I can see um, getting hit by the upcoming ban list. Just because, first of all, because they're reprinting Lagia and Dolka, and second of all, it's won a couple YCSs, and if it hasn't won, and then you get to the point where priority goes away, and you think that Rescue Rabbit isn't going to be as good, but then it just continues to do extremely well, even with Effect Veiler being able to hit Rescue Rabbit. I just feel that it's one of those decks now where it needs to be hit, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, so yeah, for those of you who don't know how Dino Rabbit plays, I don't know if anybody out there hasn't played Dino Rabbit yet, but it basically plays like a pseudo stun deck. It uses obviously monsters like Evolzar Lagia and Evolzar Doka to stop. Basically, it's a walking Solemn Judgment and a walking Divine Wrath. Um, so yeah. Obviously, Dino Rabbit is one of the very, very good cards. And then you don't even mention cards like Tour Guide. Obviously, I don't have Tour Guide up here, but it comes into play when you think about Rescue Rabbit because Rescue Rabbit banishes itself for its effect. So it's extremely easy to use Tour Guide, go into Leviair, and bring Rescue Rabbit right back, and so on and so forth. Um, I mean, I honestly can say I really shouldn't have to explain too much when it comes to Dino Rabbit. I think it's been around long enough where people know what the deck does and know why it's still such a really, really good deck. Um, and like I was saying, I can definitely see Konami doing something to it on the ban list. And when I have my ban list prediction video come up, um, I'm sure you'll see me hit something on the list. So yeah. Um, the part that I think sets Dino Rabbit aside from some of the other decks, which makes it top tier, is its ability to conform with the meta. Um, Let me just take YCS Philadelphia for an example. Um, at YCS Philadelphia, if you wanted to play Rabbit there, you almost had to main Macrocosmos. And I don't want to say you definitely had to, but I feel like you almost had to, just because in order to deal with Chaos Dragons and what they did, because of how well Chaos Dragons have been doing, and because a lot of people liked the deck and it was relatively cheap to make, aside from tour guides at the time, um, and the deck was extremely good as well. Um, and then, like in a meta where you need to you need to be able to play something like Effect Veiler. You can just take the macros out and play Effect Veilers and stuff like that. And then its ability to conform with the monsters in its deck. Like, you can play the deck as long as you have this core along with Tour Guides and Sangan. The other monsters can, you know, can conform to your liking. Like, if you'd rather not play Jurak Guaibas or something, and you'd rather play, let's say, Thunder King Ryos, you could play those. Now, granted, Thunder King Ryo isn't all that great at the moment. However, you know, I'm really just not going to get into that right now. You can play cards like Spirit Reaper to stall out your opponent. You can play cards like Snowman Eaters to destroy your opponent's cards. And then I even mentioned Jurak Guaibas to get more Ixies into the Evolzar monsters, and so on and so forth. And its ability to run, I think also the ability to be able to run a lot of traps, and then you bring in a card like Forbidden Lance, which obviously these guys don't have too much attack, but or their attacks aren't, you know, huge compared to, like, if you're playing something that can synchro summon. Most of the time, synchro monsters are going to be bigger. Um, these monsters can be dangerous with Forbidden Lance because it's going to be incredibly difficult to get rid of them. Whether you're attacking into them or you're using something like a dark, like let's say a Soul Taker or a Dark Hole on an Evolzar Lagia, they chain the Forbidden Lance and you still haven't gotten rid of the monster. So you have to hope to either have something that can run it over, and most of the time Dino Rabbit sets 2 or 3 back rows with protection, so you know they're going to be in good shape to protect against your play. Which is why this deck is extremely dangerous, in my opinion. It is a very, very good deck, which is also why I believe that it's going to get hit by the ban list. I just truly do believe it. So yeah, that is my thoughts on Dino Rabbit. I may actually just make another video right after this one, going into detail about one of the other. I guess we've hit the big 3, so I'm going to go into I guess what I would call it is tier 1.5 decks after this. So yeah, that is it, YouTube. As always, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, I am going to be continuing to do these videos. I just think I'm going to do the rest of them, like I said, here on Dueling Network. It makes it easier. It gives you guys something to look at, and it helps me out, I guess, in the end, to give you guys cards to look at and reasons why each deck is good and each deck isn't good. Or you know, some of the flaws, not that why the deck isn't good, but what some of the flaws the decks has and stuff like that. So as always, guys, like I said, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. All right, peace out, YouTube.